Hi again everyone, welcome back to my channel and welcome back to another speed build video in The Sims 4. Happy Sunday, I hope you're all having the most amazing day ever so far, and thank you so much for joining me here today for a very special build. I have collaborated with Chrissie's Corner, or ChrissieYT you might know her as. I'll link all of her social medias in the description down below if you want to go and check her out. She is incredible. Chrissy designed and built the exterior of this huge generations house, and then I have furnished it. So we're starting on the living room. This house is mega. Like, it's so big, and when I first downloaded this house, all of the detailing was just so beautiful, and I had to just think, okay, so what would the interior of this house actually look like? And so I've done collaborations before, but I haven't done very many, and normally I'm the one that dictates how the exterior looks, I'll dictate how the interior looks, and it's very much of a challenge when you're doing a collaboration with someone who has a very different style to you. They have different building styles and abilities and things like that. So it was really interesting to see how this build came together. I'll put all of the download information down below. So I'll put Chrissy's tray files of the unfurnished build, and then I'll put my tray files, which obviously has all of the furnishings. But yes, we are starting on the living room. I really like how this looks. And I'll tell you what else I find really interesting doing collaborations, and it's, I would never ever have thought to do a floor plan like this. And it's so refreshing to go into a build knowing that the exterior is all done and all you need to do is furnish it. And Chrissy was very kind, and she actually placed fireplaces, sofas, toilets, beds where she sort of thought all of the rooms were going to be. I did not change a thing about the floor plan or the layout because it was perfect in my opinion. So all I did was actually go in and just change the furniture because she just used placeholder items. And as you can see, this floor plan is beautiful. It's really open plan for the main living and kitchen areas. I believe this is 5 bedrooms and 4 bathrooms. There's a separate dining room, there's a smaller living area, there's an office, there's like a mud room. This house has everything. The back garden is absolutely stunning. So as I was saying at the beginning, if you have not checked Chrissy out, you absolutely need to, because she's a phenomenal builder, and I'm so glad we got to work on this together. And it was really exciting to see it all come together because I had no idea going into it what my plan was. I just thought, let's just press record and see how it goes. So this is what I came up with. I'm really happy with it. I think it looks fantastic. And I don't know whether Chrissy would be interested in possibly furnishing this build as well to see how different our styles actually are. I think that would be quite interesting. I might have to message her about that. But you can see this area of the house is coming together so nicely. And the kitchen was it was challenging to work on, but it was very fun as well. And I love using these cabinets from the Parenthood pack. I thought they worked really well with this house. The house is like a typical, I would say, American suburban, and it's very grand. And what I wanted to do with the interior is just keep it very family friendly, but also a little bit stylish too, you know, but not like, it's not like a house that you would necessarily see in a style house magazine or anything like that. It's very much, you know, it's just a nice, well presented house is probably how I would describe it. And what I love also about this house is on the upper floor, there's actually like a mini apartment for the grandparents, and I designed it for grandma, and I can't wait to show you that bit because it's really, really colourful and bright, and it's just so cheery. Again, I would not have thought to even put that in one of my builds. So hats off to Chrissy because that was a fantastic idea. There's a garage. This house has everything. It has everything, and it's been a really long time since I've done a house of this size myself. It feels like months at this point because I've been focusing more on sort of smaller to medium sized houses, I would say. I don't know if you guys would agree or disagree with that, but in my opinion, I've been focusing more on the smaller to medium sized houses. So it was really interesting for me to sort of see if I'd lost my touch because I went through a period of time when all I was building were these huge homes, and I've come away from that for a while, and I don't know whether that's been intentional or not. Possibly. I'm not entirely sure, but I had so much fun building this, and there were a lot of areas of this build that sort of didn't stump me as much as I thought, okay, well, what do I put here? I have no idea, because the wall height on the first floor, I think, is the medium wall height as well, which throws me off sometimes because it's not a wall height that I gravitate towards unless I'm doing like a Victorian house. But this works so well with this particular house, and I'm so glad that we kept the medium wall height on the ground floor. This is the dining room, and it's a beautiful size. Every single room is so well thought of. So well thought of. That doesn't even make sense. So well planned out and designed. She clearly designed it thinking, okay, well, Rachel could maybe do this with this room, and I want to make sure this is perfect. And it was just an absolute pleasure to work with Chrissy. She's fantastic. I can't sing her praises enough, and I hope that we can collab again sometime soon, because I had an absolute blast. But the dining room came together relatively quickly, just because it's like it's a basic rectangle, and I can't even say rectangle. I've done 2 voiceovers, 2 days on the trot now, and I feel like I don't know, like overworked or something, because I'm struggling to get my words out today. But what else is new, right? If like, that's just me on this channel. Like, this is just, I just go on like a complete ramble. Anyway, we've already done the dining room, and this is like the second smaller living area. In the UK, we would call this a reception room, and it's not a room that I put in any of my builds, truth be told. So again, really nice to see it come together and sort of decorate spaces that I'm not used to decorating, because I don't put them in my own builds. But this is a really simple space. I think there's just a couple of love seats in here and 2 bookcases, a nice fireplace. That'd just be a really nice room for your Sims to just go and chill out, read a book in front of the fire, get a cup of coffee, that sort of thing. This is the office space. I did decorate a lot of the rooms off camera, but don't panic, it's no big deal. I decorated all of the bathrooms off camera because they were getting very repetitive. I decorated the mudroom off camera, and then I think just the front entryway, there was really nothing too strenuous about what I was doing. I just thought I wanted to try and keep the footage quite focused because, again, the bathrooms were very repetitive and I didn't really feel like talking through them, and I think there are 4 of them all together, so I was thinking, oh well, this is a bit of a task, so I decided to cut that out of the footage. But this is the office. It's a really cute little office. I love where it's situated, and you can see there's a set of stairs on the inside of the garage just here, and that actually leads up to, I don't know what you would call it, like because I don't want to say they don't exist in the UK, because they probably do, but I would call it just like a mini apartment within the house. So grandma's sort of got her own space and her own freedom within the house, because we did design this for like a generations style house in mind. So this is what I was referring to. So we do start out with the bedroom portion of this little apartment area here, and I had a lot of fun with this because it's not something, again, that I put in my builds normally. So I definitely had to pull all the stops out with this and come up with some fun ideas, but I think it works really well. It's not too cluttered or overly decorated, although I did go to town on the kids' rooms in particular with this build, because I do it with all of my builds, and I thought, okay, well, why should this be any different, right? So the kids' rooms are probably slightly over decorated, but I had a lot of fun doing them, and I love doing kids' rooms, so that's why they're slightly cluttered compared to the rest of the house, I would say. But I love this space here. Again, Chrissy, as you can see, she'd put some placeholder items down so that I was sort of guided as to, and I knew what was going to go where. So this is like a little kitchenette area, and I wanted to keep it very like granny-fied, I suppose you could say. It's like a little granny flat is probably what I would describe this as, but it was a lot of fun, and it's yeah, not something that I normally do. So I tried to add lots of colour and just make it as fun as I possibly could, and I really like how this looks. You'll have to let me know what you think, but I love this so much, and I'm gonna have to start maybe adding them to my own builds, because this is such a cool idea. I don't know if this is a trick that I've been missing this entire time and everybody does this and it's just me that's being left out, or whether Chrissy is just super creative. I don't know, it's probably a mixture of the two. Anyway, so that's the kitchen area sorted. There's a little dining room table, and then this is the little living area here. There's like a little TV, and there's not too much going on here. I just wanted to make sure that grandma had her own space, and she was able to sort of disappear and just relax, and nobody was gonna bother her, because I don't know whether she just needs her own space. Everybody needs their own space sometimes, so it was really important for me to get this absolutely right for Grandma. So you'll have to let me know what you think, and you'll also have to let us know if you've got a family that you want to move into this house, or maybe you've already downloaded this house. It's not even available for download as I'm doing this voiceover. When the video's up, of course, we'll have put it up for download, but I don't know why I'm even mentioning that. Anyway, this part of the build is very almost done. I'm just adding some more clutter items to make it look a little bit more lived in and a bit more fun. This is the main bedroom of the house, or what I would assume is the main bedroom of the house. I might have got this wrong, but I also love that Chrissy included some wardrobes in, I think, each of the bedrooms, which is fantastic to see, because again, I do not account for wardrobe space in my builds when I'm doing my floor plans, because I always put like a standalone wardrobe or a set of dressers and then just hope for the best. So Chrissy's definitely much more organized and on the ball than I am, so I was very much appreciative of that. But this bedroom is probably the least decorated. No, let's start again. This bedroom is the least decorated out of all of the bedrooms. This is nothing new for me. I don't tend to go to town with my main bedrooms. They just, I don't know. They're probably the most boring room, I believe, or I find them the most boring rooms to decorate in a house. So I don't really make them very interesting. So this is what I classed as a teen room. Chrissy did not sort of say, okay, so there's this many Sims living in the house and we need this many beds. She kind of left that up to me. So I believe this house can sleep up to 7 Sims. I think, I'm not entirely sure. I want to say 7 Sims. There's a bunk bed in one of the rooms, and then there's a single bed in another. Mum and Dad, single, double bed, Grandma, and Grandad, if you wanted to put Grandad in there too. Yeah, so 7 Sims. I think that's pretty good. But if you wanted to fit 8 Sims in, then you could just replace the single bed in the final bedroom with a bunk bed. I don't think that would be too much trouble. So you could fit 8 Sims in this house if you really wanted to. Anyway, this is probably my favourite bedroom out of all of them. I love the colour scheme that we went for. We've got like golds, greens, turquoises, yellows. I think it looks fantastic. It's a lot of fun, and I don't know, I just love the colour scheme. What can I say? There's nothing more really that we can say on that. But yeah, I did put a lot of clutter in this room, and all of the rooms were such a good size, which is unusual for me anyway, because when I normally do my houses, my rooms, I'll always have at least one that's slightly on the smaller side. So again, Chrissy's she's a lot more on the ball than I am. She's just clearly like, okay, we're going to do this with this room. So I was very thankful for that. But yeah, I really like how this room looks. We've obviously got a desk here. Maybe the teen is a bit of a gamer, or I don't really know. They're clearly a little bit messy because there's stuff thrown on the floor, and there's like, I don't know, there's just a lot going on in here. So I don't know if you're going to want to tone that down if you download this house. That's entirely up to you. But now we're moving on to the bunk bedroom, and keeping with a very similar colour scheme but adding more pink and yellow in here, I believe, if I'm remembering correctly. I'm not entirely sure, but I know that what I had in mind for this room is that there were twins in here. Twin children, probably more, to be more specific, twin children in this room. So yeah, look, I mean, I love pink with yellow. I think it works incredibly well, and I just love doing kids rooms. I've talked about this a million times. You're probably sick of me saying it at this point, but I love decorating kids rooms because you can have so much fun with them, and we've got so much clutter in this game that you can just make them so unique and wonderful and just tie them in so beautifully with the Sims that you're playing with. So again, I've been quite specific, I think, with the colour schemes in the kids rooms specifically, so I don't know whether that's going to be a hindrance for anybody. But you might need to just tweak that depending on which Sims you are going to be moving in where. But we're just finishing. What just happened to my voice? We're just finishing up this room now and just making sure that your Sims can access everything. And I don't know whether I went too clutter mad on this particular room. It seems as though I did. So if you want to tone that down, pull it back, then just delete some stuff. Or if you think it's perfect, then just leave it the way it is. We will have to see. This is the final bedroom. I wasn't initially going to make this a twin room, and then I decided, because of the shape of the room, it wasn't really going to work the way that I wanted it to, so I do end up removing one of the beds and just keeping in a single bed in here. Now this could either be for a child or maybe a child that's just turned into a teenager. I wanted to differentiate all the different kids in this particular house, so just to sort of keep everyone separate, if you know what I mean. Probably not making much sense. But this child also has a desk with a computer on it. Slightly older PC, maybe they've inherited it from one of their older siblings and it's just been passed down. We've got a games console unit in here with a TV, and the theme is very blue, adding lots of clutter and toys and just making sure your Sims have got everything they need. But I am going to start wrapping up here. Right, so you can get this house from the gallery right now. You can search my user ID, which is RachelPedd, or Chrissie's, which is ChrissieYT, or you can search hashtag Chrissie's Corner to find this build. I'll link both of our tray files in the description down below. We'll get there, don't worry. But thank you so much for joining me here today, everyone. You all take care, and I will see you next time I post a video. Bye.